Hello and welcome to Indie TTRPG Nights.
Hello.
Uh,
Hello.
I'm Avery. I'm joined by Moonlight and Vico, and this is Queers Guild. And tonight we're going to be playing Microscope
Yeah.
Indeed.
by Ben
Zooming in,
Robbins.
zooming out, zooming in, zooming out.
Yeah, we're gonna be real scientists tonight. Other compared to the other times when we're fake scientists,
I'm a real scientist.
except for Vico, who's always a real scientist.
Yep.
I have a degree that says so.
There's a little piece of paper that says "scientist" on it. And
It's a bachelor's of sciences. I have.
yeah, so we're keeping it. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep the energy low key tonight. I think as we create a world.
It's another world building game.
Hey,
Feel
and I
that.
chose it this time. I chose it this time. Usually it's Vico that chooses it. Chooses a world building game.
But Avery chose world building today.
Sorry if I just totally messed up the framing.
No, you're fine. Okay,
My body is doing body things, so I'm going to be fidgety today.
that's okay.
It's okay. Bodies are. Eh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's play a game.
Let's play a game. So Microscope is a world building game where we create these. We basically make two ends of a history, the beginning and the end, and then we slowly fill out through making periods of time, like of really really long periods of time, like decades or centuries, and then we create events that happen in those periods of time, and then we play scenes in those events, and see what happens during that. And then we go back through all the way to the end of time to the beginning of time in our little history here. So there's no starting, there's no beginning, there's no end. We like put two pin marks on our map or our timeline, and then we just do everything in between. So the first step in starting this game is called big picture. So we need to make just a single sentence that's going to describe the overall essence and theme of this world that we're going to be building. I know we sort of talked about it a little bit beforehand. We're thinking of doing something high fantasy.
Yes.
So
My brain did just go swerve into another direction of how like hilarious it would be to play this game, but the history that we're talking about is like of a school club.
Oh, I love that idea too. Oh no.
Or like a
That's a great idea.
message board.
However, I would feel significantly out of my depth because, hi, I was homeschooled all the way through high school. So school clubs weren't really a part of my life experience.
Alright, I only joined clubs when I was in college.
I
And
also
then I
had a very
failed to go to
abnormal
most of
college
those.
experience.
yeah. So the book gives us some example sentences to work from if we want.
Yes.
I'm looking. There's a list on page 58. If you want to check that out, these are history seeds. I think if we take a look at that, the one that
I like the secret societies one.
see, I like
Or-
the very last one that they suggest. The last magic passes from the world.
Oh, could we combine?
What if we did that
Wait.
one but in reverse? There was no magic.
And then magic enters the world?
Yeah.
Or I was
Okay.
going to say, could we combine it with the gods play with heroes' fate until Doom takes them all. So like instead of Doom taking them all, like until magic disappears from the world, or like until magic appears in the world. I don't know. Maybe that's too much. Maybe we should keep it
Well,
simple.
we can keep it. Yeah, we gotta
Magic
keep it
appears
simple.
in the world, and then, like the Klingons, the people kill their gods.
Hell yes.
I'm down with that.
Well, so these are all things we can do even with just a single sentence with one of these. So this is
Right.
this is just a concept, and we can
Right.
expand upon it. So
Do we want to do magic slowly appears in the world? Or some such thing?
let's make it. Yeah, let's make it something like that. So like magic. The first magic. So do we want to do this? So, okay. I'm thinking like too far ahead. Back up. Back up, Avery. Okay. So let's do the first magic comes into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good with that.
Okay. So we need to create the first period and then the last period. The very, very last.
What if
The very, very first.
the oh gosh, like how I feel like I'm way overthinking things. um, do we want to start with something like there's a war that has been going on for X number of hundreds of years, and like suddenly there's a breaking point because someone like somehow discovers magic. It's like that could be like war is our first one and discovering magic is our end one, or did we want to go more into like
War would imply that there's stuff before it, and we want to do
True.
the very, very first thing so that nothing comes before this.
True.
And it depends.
People kill their gods.
Start with the people killed the gods. I'm down with that.
Okay. So that's our first one is killing the gods.
Yeah.
All right. So, shit. I think I'm just gonna draw a little square, and then
That's not a square.
Close enough. Whatever.
That's a rectangle.
it's a rectangle, and you know it. um. Okay, that's really small. Let's see if
Attack and dethrone god.
Okay. All right, and what do we want to put at the very, very end?
Magic reestablishes the gods.
A cyclical nature.
Yes.
It all comes
A
back.
never-ending Ouroboros of killing gods and then becoming gods and then being killed
Yes.
by your worshippers who then
Exactly.
become gods themselves.
Okay.
Hooah!
That well, I was going to say that does sort of limit the replayability of this particular history, but it doesn't because there's nothing that says the next round of worshippers have to kill their gods.
Exactly.
Okay. So magic returns the gods to, or magic
Or
turns the
creates-
people into gods.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I like it.
Okay. I'll put that there. see. How does that look on camera? It doesn't look too bad. Okay. Okay. So next, every time we make a period, we have to figure out if they're light. We have to figure out the tone of them and whether they're light or dark. So I'm assuming the people kill their gods. Is that a light tone or is that a dark tone?
Well,
It's dark for the gods, but I think the people were pretty chuffed about it.
yeah, which perspective do we want to look at it from? Is the question.
Well, the people would be the one writing the history, so I think it would be
That's
a light
true. Good
period, a period of triumph.
Indeed.
Sorry for that awful computer sound that just happened. My that you two didn't hear, but dismiss. Okay.
But the stream definitely heard.
Stream definitely heard it, and it was very loud. I'm gonna apologize for that. Okay. So it's light. So fill it with fun.
I'm about to be super obnoxious here because I'm going to keep away for roll.
Mute yourself, please. Thank you. Okay. And then... Oh boy, trying to finagle this is a time. All right, zooming in. Here we go. I want to copy you. There we go. Aha. And so the magic turns people into gods. Is that a light or a dark thing?
Probably also light. I mean, if the people all of a sudden have great big colossal powers without any itty-bitty living spaces, I don't know. Or they could, I mean, I sort of want to have it be dark because I really like the idea of playing with, whoops, we stumbled into something bigger than ourselves and now we can't go back to the way our lives were before.
Yeah, I was going to suggest dark because it's sort of a becoming the thing that you defeated.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
right.
it.
Hi, Explorer Rowan.
Hello.
Hey, welcome.
I'm glad you're enjoying the
this. Hope you're enjoying it.
Whatever is happening right now.
Whatever this is right now.
There were so many options for like what word I could choose that they all just collided.
Just went, nope, none of those are happening.
Okay, so next we need to create our palette, which is a list of things that we can include and things that we can't include. So each player can add or ban one thing from the palette. Repeat until a player doesn't want to add or ban anything. Feel free to discuss. Everyone should be happy with the palette.
Interesting. This game is so open-ended.
I want to ban genocide because I don't want to talk about that.
Good. I am behind that.
Okay. Here, let me make a list.
I think we could... I mean, I think there are certain topics that we all just know to avoid.
I think we on this channel do often talk real-world politics.
That's true. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Did Vico just freeze?
Vico did just freeze.
Come back.
Something tells me its computer crashed.
Yes. Has been having some computer issues lately.
Gonna wait for that confirmation, and then once we do, I'm gonna put us on a be right back screen because
yes, it might take a bit. Meanwhile, I keep thinking about things for the palette. This game is really going to push me because I have a tendency to hate open-ended anything, and this game is all about
Oh,
here's
there it
this
goes.
big
Oh,
thing to
hey,
play with.
Anger.
Anger, you're back though.
I am back.
That didn't take very long.
My internet went down and then it came back.
Oh, okay. We
Strange.
I
thought
think
your
it's
computer crashed, but
no. I think it's just I probably didn't connect the USB ports properly when I was building my computer, so it's
oh well, you're back.
sometimes
So
whatever. I'm
pellets.
back.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So
Too many choices.
under no is gonna be
Genocide.
genocide. It's kind of small, but this is mostly for our reference.
Right. I am going to ban any. See, I feel like I'm limiting myself way too much.
Just pick something.
Ban any talk of the old pantheon.
Of the old gods. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Neat.
I'm gonna say, yes to. Hmm. Oh, you're right. This is hard. Holy shit.
There's just the options are literally anything.
This is the yes one though, so you can just say like literally anything, and we don't have to use it. But
Right.
Yeah.
though
So
banning the old pantheon does mean that I can't have like a period where there's like a secret cult trying to revive worship of the old god.
That's true. That's true. I did think of another one because I like the idea of leaving that option open.
Well, let's wait. Let me pick mine first.
Yes.
So we have to. Everyone has to go before we do another round.
Right. Sorry. Yes.
You're okay. Yes to. I'm trying to think of generic fantasy things that we could do. Don't. That's just gonna make my brain even more blank. Help me out here, audience. Oh, it'd be so great if you could help me out here.
Audience, just start throwing out nouns.
Just birds. Yes to birds. No.
Could provide interesting. Prove interesting. I can work.
I say yes to birds. Have you accepted birds into your heart? Have you
always say yes to
Have you
birds.
accepted puff-leg hummingbirds into your heart? They have pants.
Just Google puff-legged.
Hold on,
hummingbirds.
Googling.
They have pants.
Explorer Rowan says corn or maize. Which I think sounds super cool because those were a super important part of the agricultural revolution. Right? They have pants.
Back to the game. Those are adorable, and I'm glad I know this exists.
Pants. No.
Yes, to pants.
Queers Guild sponsored by Pants.
Sponsored by Pants.
Specifically pants on birds.
Sponsored by Puff-Leg Hummingbirds.
I'm squirrely tonight.
You know, we said genocide's no, but I'm gonna say yes to murder.
Okay.
Okay.
Genocide and murder are different things.
Very different. Yes.
But killing people's okay. I think we're this is gonna be a place where magic is new and things are gonna happen,
And
so
whoops.
people might die.
And
You may have
sometimes you have to
like my world
assassinate
where
a
whoops
opponent.
dragons happened.
Whoops, dragons. All
Queer
right,
Skill does not support genocide, but
murder's
murder
okay.
is
Whoops
negotiable.
to murder.
All right, Vico,
All
do you
right.
have anything else to add?
All right, we have murder as yes, and genocide and the old gods as no. I do want to talk about agriculture, so let's put a yes on the agriculture.
Awesome.
No, so these aren't. So basically, the yeses are supposed to be things that like we want to include here that aren't expected. So I guess agriculture would count as something. So agriculture is going to be a thing that may pop up.
I am going to say yes to technology.
Okay.
Ooh. Fuck, I just thought about something else, a different one other than agriculture.
Well, we can do another round.
Wait,
Um,
wait.
I know, now I'm like,
Okay.
I had no ideas, and now I have too many ideas.
Explorer Rowan says, what's a little murder between friends?
Yeah, just a little murder. Yeah.
I know Avery made it so that the chat like pops up on the screen, so I don't like have to read these out. I just like acknowledging them.
Technology. Let's say no to. I want to say no to something. Um,
Just say no. You want to say no, but you just want to ban something. You don't care what it is.
yeah.
Something. And use of the word something.
Actually, I'm gonna say yes
Please
to
go back.
cults.
Ooh,
Cult,
I like that.
cult.
I know we're all excited about cults, so
Hashtag not
Blood.
for you critters out there.
all right. What's your next thing, Vika?
Space travel.
Ooh, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes to space travel.
Thank you for running with my idea of making this a cyberpunk high fantasy blend.
I love sci fantasy as a concept.
Space
I
wizards.
have only found one book series. Okay, I haven't gone on any in-depth looking, but
Sorry, Explorer Rowan said ban parachute pants. I find that so fucking funny.
that's if you see me looking down every once in a while, it's because I have the stream pulled up on my phone so I can see chat. Yes, I will ban parachute pants. Just kidding.
For people who like sci fantasy and are capable of listening to actual play podcasts, I highly recommend the Twilight Mirage game by Friends at the Table. And just Friends at the Table in general.
I'm just going to send a message to you, Vika.
Or just play Destiny.
Or just play Destiny. Destiny 2 is free.
How do you... Apparently I can't spell either of those words.
I can message it to you.
Also, for people who like sci fantasy, the Dragonfall trilogy by David Wells, phenomenal post-apocalyptic high fantasy.
I'm
Very nice.
gonna make a note of that.
Do you have anything to add?
I'm still trying to think of. We don't have many no's.
No, we don't.
We don't need too many. Just things that were really not happening.
But also, I sort of want to be able to include a cult about the old gods, but I
put that idea in your head. I put the idea.
Like, why did I ban the old gods? Challenge us. Find other things, other reasons for cults to exist. Not something I ever thought I would be spending time thinking about. Anyway, ADHD brain, come back to me. I genuinely can't think of anything else,
That's okay.
so I am passing.
You're passing? Okay.
Yep.
Then this will be the last round because
Yep.
once one person
You and Vico
passes,
each get.
yeah.
Or no, Vico started, so you get
So I
your
get
last
one.
one. Yep.
Space travel technology, agriculture, and of course murder.
Agriculture.
Um, I'm gonna say, I can't think of anything else either. I think I'm gonna pass as well.
Alrighty.
So that's the end of
That's
this one.
that part of the game.
So group decisions are now over. That was the last thing we make group decisions for.
Oh boy.
So we each take a pass at making a period or an event in any order. So I will zoom us back out. Boop. Boop. Okay.
All right.
I will make a period, which is gonna go. Well, I'll just put it in the middle for now. Increase the size here. This is going to be magic makes itself known.
I like it.
Okay. And this is going to be a dark time. Oops, hang on. Hang on. Hang on. What? What are you laughing at?
Just nothing.
I don't trust like that, but okay.
I'm laughing at you, but I think you knew that.
Yeah, I knew that. There we go. This is a
But in a
dark
loving
time.
way.
Oh, okay. Thanks. That makes me feel better. That's my period. Magic makes itself known. And it's a dark time.
If I can do this. Yeah. How do I type it? There is my text box. Text. There it is. I'm not super well versed in Roll20. Oh, that is tiny.
Right, the text always starts out very wee.
How do I make the box bigger?
I can do it for you if you want.
Okay, thank you. That would be probably more enjoyable for the viewers. I am making a period of what do I call it? Agricultural disparity.
Ooh.
I have to think really hard about what word went after agricultural. Because brains.
This is a dark or light period.
See, this is so difficult because from whose perspective? The people who have an abundance will be fine, but I guess dark overall because it's yeah, overall dark.
Okay. All right. And Vico?
I'm gonna make an event.
Okay.
Ooh.
Where?
Uh, I want to put it in the period that Moon just made.
Okay.
Um,
I will draw that.
it's
Trying to remember.
trying to think of what to call it. But I want it to be an uprising due to the disparity of who has food and who doesn't.
I think you could just call it an uprising.
Yeah, sure.
Whoops, we're not supposed to give advice or hints.
Um,
Goes against all of my collaborative gaming experience.
I know, right?
Is this light or dark?
It's Do I want it to be like the failed pre-French Revolution, or do I want it to actually have succeeded? Um, I think it succeeded, so it's a light.
Okay. Getting better at
Maybe
making these. Okay. Maybe what?
there was this probably not true story I read about like Dutch anarchists who when there was a boss who kept like who had like really low wages whenever anarchist groups would get together, and when the guy was like out of the house, they would break in, they would eat everything in the kitchen, and then they would leave again.
That is the most brilliant form of anarchy. To eat all your food.
Love that.
You don't pay us enough to buy our own food? That's fine. We'll just eat all of yours.
It is brilliant.
Okay.
Anyway, that's my event.
Okay. So now we're going to go into the main field of play, so to speak. So during a turn, or like a round, I guess, we pick someone to be the lens, so to speak, who is going to basically be leading this round of play. So does anyone want to be the lens first? I can be the lens first if you want.
I think you should go first.
Go for it.
Okay. So the lens needs to declare a focus, which is basically the theme of around what will be talked about, what events and periods and stuff will be made. I like the focus of revolution. I think we've been talking about that. We've been sort of hinting at that. So let's do that. Okay. So each player takes a turn and makes either a period, event, or scene. Start with the lens and go around the table to the left. Or we'll figure it out. Lens is allowed to make two nested things, a period within an event inside it, or an event with a scene inside it. Okay. So I will make... I'm gonna make an event. No. I changed my mind. I'm gonna make a period. Actually, no. I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
Flip a coin.
I don't have a coin. I'm gonna roll d20. Okay, make a period. I'll set it after magic makes itself known. And I'm gonna make this the reign of the first dynasty.
Ooh.
And this will be a dark period, because I like dark periods.
Mm.
Not a lot of great things happening in this.
No, we have 2 light periods. Oofda.
Okay, but I get to make an event inside that one
Also
as
make an
well.
event.
So
Yes.
all right. This will be the fall. All right. Of the Queen's Tower.
Ooh.
This is a light event. That is my turn. Why don't we go like this way over as far as the screen goes, so Moon will go next.
Okay. I'm going to do a scene
Ooh.
Okay.
under the uprising.
Ooh.
So the way scenes work basically is you pose a question and you can all play the person whose turn it is sort of sets up the scene, and then people can pick characters and you keep going until you answer the question, basically. So the question is, and thank you to fantasynamegenerators.com, which is my lifesaver as a GM. Why was the initial leader of the uprising, where did it go? Who is an elf named Enwyn. Why were they booted out as the leader and someone else took their place? So, like, what did Enwyn do that
Ooh.
made them no longer fit leader for the uprising? I guess would be a nice, succinct way to phrase that question. I am going to require, obviously, Enwyn being in the scene and their second in command to be in the scene.
Okay. Is there any characters you're
And
banning?
anyone else?
Because you have to ban characters as well. Okay.
No. So then going the opposite direction for play. So Vico would choose a character first,
Okay.
and then Avery, and then me.
Okay. So you said Enwin was in the scene.
Yes.
Did you already say that the new leader who replaced
Nope.
Enwin?
Nope.
Okay. And this person is Mila.
All right. Oh, I did forget. Sorry. You're supposed to like give pronouns and things. Enwin is non-binary, uses they them.
Okay.
Um,
And is an elf. I think I already said that. But
Mila is also non-binary but uses she her. So, and is human.
Okay.
so then, is Mila Enwin's second in command or not? It's entirely up to you, Vika. Pardon me.
No, I think Mila is someone who has kind of risen up through charisma,
Okay.
but wasn't originally part of the leadership.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember this one section where we all have to say our thoughts.
So after we pick characters,
Yes.
we go around and say what the characters are thinking. And like once I set up the scene, whatever I think. Yes. Something like that.
All right. This document is very long.
Oh, I was supposed to set the scene before we choose characters. Whoops. So I figure the scene will be in the little like hideout of like where the uprising like holds their secret meetings. And it's just sort of like a run of the mill, like check in, what's the status, sort of a meeting.
Okay.
So.
So Vico, you picked Mila, right?
Yep.
Okay, I will pick the second in command.
Okay.
Whose name is? Her name is. June.
Mm-hmm.
She, her. She is a tiefling.
What
Yes,
color?
tieflings.
I'm curious.
Tiefling.
Also, tieflings
She's
are dope.
like a burnt orange.
Ooh, nice. And then I will play Enwin. So the thing about scenes is anytime someone says something about the world as opposed to the individual character, you can, and you have a different idea of the way things are going or the way you would like things, you can do what they call push. So you could just sort of interrupt the scene and say, counter proposal, what if this is the way the world is? And then we all vote and then continue on with the scene. The scene ends when we find an answer to the question. Okay. So, yeah, I guess I'm just gonna. Oh, so now that we have all chosen characters and know the establishment of the scene, sort of, what are your characters' basic thoughts as they are getting to this meeting? Enwin is nervous about the upcoming sort of big push to there's a like agricultural storehouse, and they are planning a big push to raid the storehouse to provide food for those who need it, and they're very sort of anxious about proposing the idea. How's it going to be taken, etc.
Okay.
Vika.
Hi. Mila thinks that the uprising hasn't been going hard enough. Protests and raids are all well and good, but it's not actually solving the issue of who has the arable land and who controls the supply lines. And she thinks that there should be more guillotining.
Oh my god.
Jumping right in with the murder. Awesome.
Murder. Alright. June says, or June thinks, she is steadfast in her support of Enwin, but she can't deny the fact that she is having doubts about
Right.
the leadership. She may have her own opinions about how things should be run, but she is deferring to leadership right now. So that's her thoughts.
Okay, so then we just. Why am I so nervous about this?
You already set
Okay.
this character up to fail.
You know what's gonna happen.
Explorer Rowan says, please tell me Jude also has longhorn cattle horns.
Sure.
Awesome.
Southern accent.
I know, like I.
You just made your own grave, Vika.
What?
You just made your own grave. Oh, you don't want to hear my accents.
I've already heard your accent when we did Southern Holler.
Ah, that's right. I'm gonna offend every person south of Mason-Dixon. All right, here we go.
So, as you all find your way into the little hideout, Edmund is just sort of standing there. I don't know, fidgeting with something, or fidgeting with like a coin or whatever.
You're nervous.
Waiting for everyone to get there. A bit. I'm not sure how this is going to be taken, and well, don't have to tell you how things have been going. Not been going very good for us, and
It'll work out. It'll work out.
I hope so.
Trying to figure out how Milo would enter this scene. Exactly how much of a bitch she would be.
That's something to ponder.
So I guess people start filtering into the meeting room.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's sort of secondary characters other leaders of other various parts of the uprising.
Mila comes in and there's kind of a clique that gathers around her. And she's been kind of agitating for a while that she thinks there should be more guillotining. And she's gotten some people who agree with her and some people who don't outright say they agree with her, but they agree with her.
All right.
I think Jude might be one of those people. Don't outright agree. So she will look over at you, Mila, and just give a nod.
Mila nods back.
So, Edwin sort of calls everything to order and makes a hand motion to, someone to sort of just like, gestures, and that person walks towards like through a door, still in the hideout, but like walks out of the room. And when notices the glance between June and Mila and gets visibly more agitated. And the person who...
I can't push to change that, can I? Let's say that you notice.
No, because it was my character.
So it was your character. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The person comes back leading someone. The person has their hands cuffed and looks very well fed and in very nice clothing that has been worn for several days in a row. And Edmund says, as all of you know, the storehouse in Dawnhelm has been providing us with more security than we've been able to deal with. However, on our last raid, we did manage to bring someone along who can help us get in. And there's various reactions to it. So with his help, we have all of the information of when the guards are walking, or what are the words that I want for the sentence?
Patrolling.
Thank you, yes. When and exactly where the guards will be patrolling, how to evade them, and pulls out of their pocket a key. We also have this now. And they sort of like, they fall quiet to let people have their reactions. You can also hop in as secondary characters' reactions if you want.
They're all like whispering to each other to like, sure, like, and one of the secondary characters goes, "What are we gonna do about it?"
Well, I was hoping to have volunteers to come with me on the raid to get food for our families, our children.
One of them, someone is, how do we know he's not lying? And it's someone over in Mila's little corner.
Right. I have my ways of knowing if someone is lying or not.
Mila kind of snorts at that. And it's a very deliberate provocation.
Oh yes, that that is how Moonlight read that.
Fight, fight.
Their normally amber-colored eyes shift very quickly to solid black and then back to amber again.
Ooh.
And
Can
I
I have a
think
question?
yes.
This is if I'm hang on, let me check the timeline again. This is before magic makes itself known or makes itself
Yes.
real. So
Oh, I took that to mean before magic becomes widely known.
okay, never mind.
I mean, we could vote on it if you want, but
No, it's fine.
can...
I'm just
Okay.
I mean,
saying
that was
yeah.
also how I took it.
Which
Was
way was
that
how
there
you also took it?
was that there was probably like bits of magic slowly building up
Yes.
as
Okay. So as Unwin's eyes do the color shifty thing, I would say everyone feels just like that, like almost what you feel when you're in the presence of static electricity of like there's something in the air and then it just fades very quickly. And it's
Mila.
very obvious that Enwin made that feeling happen.
Mila is like has recognized and acknowledged that this is happening and looks a little intimidated, but not enough to stop running her mouth. Um,
Fair.
she's like, "What good is?" Let me get into character. Yeah, so we raid this storehouse on your say so, because you've got ways of knowing that this chump over here isn't lying to you. And we clean out this storehouse, feed everyone for what, a month? 2?
And we prove a point.
To who? They're just gonna add more guards to the next storehouse. And we might not be able to get a chump who's willing to talk on that one. And then they'll add more guards to the next storehouse.
Do you
They've
have any
already
counter proposals?
they've already started hauling people out in the streets in Windhaven. You think we can just raid storehouses forever? No, we gotta get to the root of the issue. Who's putting the food in the storehouses and putting the guards around it? That's what we should be focusing on.
We need to and yeah, June like nods and it's just like we need to think bigger picture. We're working
I'm all for
small right
thinking
now.
bigger picture. I'm also all for feeding my children. If we go and attack the people who own the storehouses, I have a feeling I'm going to leave my children orphaned and still starving.
And they'll be orphaned and starving in a couple months when we stop getting lucky raiding storehouses. And what about their children if they live that long? We can't just raid storehouses forever. That's not going to last.
So I am going to step in as a secondary character. One of the cool things about scenes is you can choose a character that is, they call it time. So like if there is a angry crowd or a fire or whatever, it can sort of push the scene to a conclusion. And I feel like it is fitting for this to turn into a very angry mob. That is all agreeing with Mila. And I also feel like half of the crowd is agreeing with Mila and half of the crowd is like totally creeped out by whatever the hell just happened with the eyes and the weird feeling. And we don't trust this person anymore.
I feel bad because we already have the foregone conclusion that Enwin gets booted out of the leadership position.
Yes.
But like, I still kind of wish that Enwin and Mila could have come to some sort of compromise because they both have good points.
They really do. But I sort of feel like that answered the question of like, well, they tried to use magic, which just didn't end up in their favor. And they were.
I would like to posit that, like, because I can't make any assumptions and I can't put anything on your character, but I would like to make the suggestion, even though this is something that technically we're not allowed to do, but I would like to do it anyway.
Go for it.
That Enwin doesn't even know that they were casting magic.
Oh, I absolutely love that. Yes.
So they are feared. So they are feared and just losing respect for something they don't even know.
Yeah. And I sort of feel like maybe it doesn't happen tonight that she's booted out of power, but like maybe these incidences keep happening where they keep doing these weird things. And so it's sort of slower.
I have an idea. Throughout this chaos, June finds herself, the mob starts there's shouting across the aisles and disagreements, and June just saunters unnoticed over to, or maybe not unnoticed, by at least Enwin.
Nobody cares enough to.
Yeah, no one stops her. She sidles up to Mila and just says, "They won't make a decision. We need to make one for them."
And Mila just kind of nods, and she's totally going to take advantage of the sudden distrust that people have towards Enwin, and maybe this isn't the moment where Enwin is deposed, like you said, but as time goes on, Mila is still agitating, I don't think we can trust them. And if we can't trust them, then we can't trust that following their plans is actually gonna work out for us.
Right.
Okay. It seems like we've answered the question.
Yeah. Yep. Went such a different direction.
I feel bad for Edwin.
So do I. Why did I put this character?
All right. Was this scene light or dark?
I think it was kind of dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was dark.
In the end, the uprising worked out, but
that doesn't mean it was light the entire time.
Yeah, it came at the cost of someone who was innocent and just trying to do the best they could for their family and their people.
Yeah.
Having the court of public opinion kind of violently turn on them.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a very real thing.
All right.
That was my turn.
Yep. So Vico, it's your turn.
It's me.
It's
fuck
me.
it, but I was so focused on the scene that I wasn't
right?
super paying attention.
Magic itself. No, hang on. Let me edit that.
I want to make an event that goes with magic makes itself known.
There we go. Okay. I will do that. Hang on.
And
this event is called
the
Tell me more about it. Tell me about it.
Okay, I want it to be the
more.
first big, like, undeniable incident of magic happening, but I'm trying to think of what specifically that would be.
Okay.
So many ideas from the show that I just watched yesterday. But also, this isn't my turn.
It's
It's Saturday Night Live. No.
uh
It is Saturday.
I'm just
We are live.
I'm just gonna
We are
say
live.
I'm just gonna say some random words and it's gonna be and like we can deal with it later. It's the 3 in blue.
Ooh, tweaking.
Okay, tell me more.
I don't know why I just had a lisp with that
No.
word.
All right,
I will not be elaborating.
is this a light or a dark event?
Light.
Oh, I have ideas.
Good.
Okay, that's your turn.
But it's still not my turn.
Okay.
Then someone else becomes the lens.
Yes, but before we do that, the lens, I have to finish the focus.
Oh, right.
After each player has taken a turn, the lens gets to go again. Yay. And I could do...
Oh my gosh, now I have Summer Loving stuck in my head.
Like, does he have a car? All right.
You said tell me more.
I did.
What do you expect?
Echolalia hours over here on Queers Guild.
Yeah, there was a time in my life where I didn't think I had that. Huh.
I don't want to do a scene
Go for it.
in the 3 in blue because I want Vico to explain more.
You're the one who gets to decide because it's your scene.
Yeah, you get to decide what the 3 in blue are and what happens.
Oh, but I have so many ideas.
I think Moon wants to be the one who decides what
Okay.
the 3 in blue are.
No, go for it.
That's okay.
It's your turn.
We'll
I can
change it later.
share the creative power. I'm just used to either creating entirely on my own or like being able to actively collaborate. This is very much like we are collaborating, but also you're not allowed to collaborate.
We're round robining.
Yeah.
You can do the three in blue if you want.
Okay.
Go for it.
Hang on.
Avery wants to force me to explain myself.
I do.
Will I? Who knows?
Where did they go?
Where'd they go?
Where'd they go?
Okay.
So setting the stage. This is the early years of when magic really starts coming into its own. People start awaking with magical powers. The study of magic becomes really intensive and schools of thought and schools of magic are and like literal schools and also philosophical and metaphorical schools of thought are formed. And there came three figures, three almost mythological in nature figures of magical prowess. And they all happen to wear blue.
Nice.
Were they working together? Was it coincidental or?
Did they call each other? What are you wearing to this meeting?
I'm not going to explain that.
Okay.
So
But I get
what
to
characters
choose.
are you
So
requiring?
I will require 2, because that's the max I can require. 2 of the 3 in blue, and I'm actually going to ban the 3rd.
Ooh,
Woof.
fun. Who gets to pick first?
Um,
It's supposed to go the opposite order of play. So we
so
went
Vico. So Vico
you,
would pick.
me, yes. Oh, it's so hard sharing.
Okay, so I'm gonna be one of the 3 in blue,
Okay.
named Calith.
Okay.
He's
They them.
Love it.
And they are
shouldn't be fidgeting with this and keep dropping it.
not not mean or bitter, but like jaded.
Okay. You can think.
Disillusioned.
You don't have to tell us. You can think more about it. But Moon, what do you pick?
How dark are we okay going?
We can go.
I mean, as long as you follow the palette.
We can go
Okay,
places.
yeah, it's not genocide. Enwin's magic accidentally severely hurt her children, and she ran.
I thought it was they.
And it was they. I apologize for misgendering my own character, whose gender I picked. Hurt their children, and they ran. This was after they had already been
Deposed.
kicked out of the uprising. And they just sort of wandered, trying to avoid people as long as possible, and have stumbled upon these mysterious 3 men in blue, or people in blue.
Okay, and then we have Enwin again.
And go to the Enwin.
I will play the other other 3rd in blue. So the 2nd in blue.
How long do we think? Because elves are pretty long lived, so has
Yes,
Enwin
it
just
could
kind
be.
of been wandering?
I think at some point they probably found one of the little pockets of like, all of a sudden we can do these things, what is happening to us, but still just generally avoided interacting because of not necessarily being able to always control it. But I don't necessarily think, I don't want to say that they've been alone the entire however long it's been. So they've sort of plugged into different little pockets of magic users.
Okay.
Okay.
The other 3rd, 3 of the 3 in blue. There we go. Will be named
Bob.
No.
Bob, Joe, and Tom.
They call me Tim. There's your Monty Python and the Holy Grail reference.
What is your favorite color?
Dine.
Green,
yeah.
Dine.
Dine.
And what was the name of the second of 3?
Caliph.
Now they sound like Borg.
2nd of 3.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I am not playing either of them. Anyway, contain the creative energy.
So Caliph and Dine, and what's the specific sitch that they're meeting
Well, they're meeting with
under?
Enwin. So I would say that maybe Enwin approaches them
Oh,
and
does
in
Enwin know that these are magic people, or is it like random happenstance? Hey, here's these three people all in the same color. I should
well, it's
talk to
only
them.
two. It's only two of them.
Right, it's only two. Right.
The two
I
in blue.
Yeah, just so you know, I have no idea how this scene is gonna go. I have no preconceptions about
Awesome,
how this is gonna go.
Cool, I
awesome.
love that.
That's how it's supposed to go.
Okay. Sort of stoic in I'm gonna give Dine, it's gonna also be they them as well. These are genderless beings. Um,
Oh my gosh. Yes, thank you.
Sort of Caliph can decide how they want to look, but at least Dine is hooded with a blue robe. I think that's sort of what makes them sets them apart, or like what makes is what gives them their name is their distinctive blue robes. Um, and Dine will. So here's where we are. Let me say where we are first. We are in some back alley of a city.
Okay.
Maybe Enwin has been hiding out here, or just been
Yeah.
traveling. Then Enwin turns the corner, and standing there is Dine.
Okay. So, oh wait.
And
Get this.
if would Caliph be next to them as well?
I think that right after Enwin turns the corner, Caliph like comes in from like the other end of the
Ah!
alley. Um, sort of like also in robes, but the hood is down, the hair is disarray, and the hem like they have their robes hiked up because they've been like jogging, and they're like, and another thing, like, don't
That's
you walk
delightful.
away from me when we're happy. Yeah. Oh,
I
and then they
love this
see
dynamic
Edwin and they're
between them
like,
already.
oh, hi.
Okay, so then, Nico, you would start with thoughts immediately before the scene?
Yeah, what's Caliph thinking?
Don't walk away from me? Just kidding. Be
I
whatever you want.
think Caliph is starting to feel that their efforts are kind of meaningless. And that just being the best at magic or being famous, it's not like really helping with all of the infighting between the various schools of magic. Um, and it's kind of wearing on them a little to like not be able to get everybody to calm the hell down.
Oh.
Um, who goes next? I would go next, or you would go next?
It's your turn, so I would go next. I totally land with you. Um, Enwin definitely like by this point has like wrinkles and graying hair. Not necessarily because it's been thousands of years or however hundreds of years, however long elves live in this world, but
Let's say
because of the
thousands. I love
hardship
that.
of the hundreds of years. Like less time, but drastically difficult life
Hmm.
has it just looks very haggard, has the look of someone who has been utterly and completely heartbroken and has somehow continued to exist. Um, Probably just wearing like a ratty like tunic or like raggy tunic with a cloak thrown over it. And I'm going to say is also wearing like thick, almost like blacksmith, like smithing gloves, so like super thick leather as a like means of trying to contain the magic.
Ooh.
Because even with the development of schools and like more knowledge about what magic is, they were so deeply scarred by their first like outburst of magic and what it did to their family that like they don't even want to learn how to control it. They just want to avoid people. Um,
And so, what are they thinking
and
right now?
uh, where can I get some food and still avoid people as much as possible?
Oh, Dine is they're very torn at the moment. They're thinking about the third of their group and where they are, and is also a little um not exasperated, but something similar to the sort with Caliph of the sort. Yeah, and they are looking at you, Enwin, thinking, who the fuck?
Amazing. So you both sort of appear out of nowhere, and when does the like I'm not projecting into this character at all. I have no idea what you're talking about. Does the like trapped animal reaction of like just like freezing, arms go up to protect, eyes get really big. What? Who?
A single
Where?
hand comes up. Worry not.
Who are you? Their eyes are sort of darting back and forth between these two.
No one of import.
Uh,
Why? Why are you in this alley? Just
Well,
we
I'm in
nothing
are.
this
here.
alley because this Caliph like visibly bites back in insult. Like, yes, Danae, why are we in an alley?
I'm looking for someone. Perhaps you could help me.
Oh, what? Why do you think I can help? They're sort of like clenching their hands, like clenching and unclenching their hands. I can't. Uh, what do you want from me? I can't do anything.
The perks and skills we've developed over the time has made me very good at sensing power.
I
Over Danae's shoulder, Caliph is kind of like,
don't know. Um,
Do you want to find
that
them or
was
not?
that was not Enwin's reaction. Sorry, that was Moon's reaction.
I think if Anat wanted to be found, we would have found them.
Say that again, the name.
Anat.
And, alright. Danae just ignores the comment. And turns back to them.
I don't know why you think I can help. I have. I can't help you. I'm sorry. And they sort of turn, or not turn, but like try and like go around Danae to get out of the alley to go get some food.
They will extend a hand and magically conjured from their hand is a just a bowl of soup.
They stop. They look at their gloves.
You won't hurt me.
You say that. And leaving their gloves on, we'll take the soup. Start eating it slowly and then very quickly.
Trust me, my
Down the
dear,
entire
this
bowl.
one's skin is tough as diamond. Nothing makes a dent.
We need
Gosh,
your
I almost
help.
want to make a roll to see how they
No dice.
all of this. I know, no dice. Yeah.
Also, thank you, Explorer Rowan, for the 100 bits.
Thank you.
After they just demolished the bowl of soup, they look at Calith and they say, if I help you, will you teach me how to control it? If it's true that I can't hurt you, you might be my only shot.
I don't think you can help us, but
You're looking for someone. Do you have an item that belonged to that person?
Another hand comes out with a torn piece of robe, similar in color.
They take it. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've taken these gloves off. And they slowly take off the gloves, tuck them in a pocket. And you can see sort of scars, looks like char marks almost, like burn wounds all over their hands.
Caliph kind of softens at the sight and goes from being like, you see a little bit of what was probably their pre-jaded personality come through into like this. You know, you don't have to. I know a good school.
Let them help.
If I can
Even
make
if you
sense
can't.
of this, and they sort of, if I can make sense of this gesture to their own hands, I can make sense of what happened. Maybe it'll help me move on. if I can believe that this does some good in the world. Maybe it won't be so hard to keep going.
Caliph kind of reaches out and grabs Danae's wrist and kind of the one that's holding the scrap of robe and pulls it back and goes, I know you're upset.
And you're not?
Even. Of course I am. They were my friend too. But I think they made it very clear when last they spoke to us.
Don't refer to them in past tense.
They're not dead. They just don't want to do this anymore. And what are you going to do if you find them anyway?
Restore the order of things. That's what we wanted to do, the three of us together. It's what we came together for, is to make order.
Well, Anat doesn't want to anymore, and honestly, I don't think I do either. I don't think we can. We've tried.
Yeah, Danae just returns their attention back to Enwin. If you can help.
Maybe trying to do it with just the three of you wasn't the way to do it. I have spent a long time avoiding things. I hurt very badly people that I cared very deeply for because of magic. Maybe trying to restore balance on a grand scale is too big of a goal. Maybe you do it by doing this. By meeting people in alleyways and giving them soup. And helping them believe that maybe there's something worth fighting for again.
Danae hears your words, and it goes right in their ear, and they try to make sense of it in their worldview, and then it just goes right out the other end, and they just say, "Can you help?"
Caliph had saw Danae processing and had this
processing.
Are they getting it? Are they getting it? And then as soon as Danae spoke, it's just this full body exasperated sigh.
I don't know if I should.
The hand holding the cloth retreats back into the robe.
I don't know enough about the situation. Although, they just sort of go quiet, have this whole inner dialogue of well, if I do help, we find them. What if they don't want to be found? I don't know what the circumstances of their leaving were. I don't know who I can trust in these two different stories that I'm getting. I just met these people in this alleyway. I don't know what I'm getting involved in. But also, they made me rethink my life and gave me something that spark of oh my gosh, I might actually be able to help. And, I have to actually have them make a decision. Okay, so as Danae's hand goes back, and when like stops it and takes the scrap of fabric, just says, if I do this and your friend doesn't want to go back to the way things were, you'll respect that. Yeah?
They turn to look at Calith, and then back at you, Enwin. Yes.
All right. And when sort
Well,
of
they'll try.
trying is the best we can ask of anyone.
Calith, you know Danae well enough to know that they are lying.
Oh.
Yeah, Caliph is like, and just kind of says, if you're determined to do this, Danae, just know that when Anat has it out with you, I want no part of the argument.
Very well.
I think
I'm
by
not
that
playing
point,
mediator for you two anymore.
Unwin has sort of like Unwin doesn't hear that because they are tapping into their magic to try and find the person that this robe belonged to, so they don't realize that Danae was lying. So they focus on the fabric, and gosh, now I have to make a decision about where they're found.
I will. No, I can't make a suggestion. I would suggest look at the palette and look at the yeses.
Oh, I know. So it leads, Edwin leads them out of this town, down this like middle of nowhere country road. There's a forest, and Edwin is just very determinedly, very focused, walking in a direction, branching off of the road eventually into the forest. Seemingly completely random.
Caliph is
Y'all can react however you want.
following kind of reluctantly. Like, they said they weren't going to play mediator, but
But also, oh, I've been that friend before.
they're
Anyway.
also kind of like, well, I can't trust Danae to make sure that this person doesn't like fall into a pot, like trip on a pothole and just completely wipe out. So I guess that's going to be my job.
So the interesting thing is, as you go, Enwin perfectly avoids any pitfalls, any dangerous animals. Seems like they're not paying attention, but they just are perfectly weaving a very direct path through this forest.
Nice. Caliph loves being unnecessary.
Oh, that's just a real word.
No, I mean that honestly. Caliph is like, man, it's nice to not have to solve problems.
Perfect. And then eventually this clearing opens up. And you both see, I forgot the name,
Anna.
the third person in blue, standing there, still wearing the blue robe, but has seen somewhere. And there's these dark, like, splotches that look like they've stained the robe, and their hands are covered in this thick, dark substance. And there's a structure in front of them that no one in this scene can really make sense of. It's large, it's metallic.
Yes.
Yes.
There's sounds coming. There's like, I'm trying to describe this from the context of someone who has no idea what it is. And it's actually kind of difficult. So yeah, so that is the scene that we have come upon. And there are other people of all different species and types and kinds that you didn't even know exist in this world. And I am going to say there is a unicorn, because I can.
Yes.
So
there's a unicorn in the encampment. I can go ahead and
approach.
do the Aenot.
They went to space.
Because presumably the two of you will want to interact with them.
There's
a very deep sigh as Danae's voice is heard. And they wipe their hands on their robe and turn around. Yes, Danae?
I tried to stop them.
Thank you. But turns out
it is good to see you again, though.
Couldn't to be avoided. It's good to see you too. Thank you for supporting me. Let me look back to you, Danae.
They're sort of, they are sort of in disbelief that this is actually happening. And they...
so is Enwin. Enwin is very overwhelmed by everything that they are seeing.
Danae will take a step forward and like raise their hands like to cup the Aenot's face. And
yay.
We'll do so if allowed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. They will just put their hand over yours as you do so.
Why did you go?
I had to, Danae.
We had a plan. We had an order.
The world is changing. Look around you.
We can make it ours.
I don't want that anymore. I've changed. I was meditating. I had a vision that led me here.
And where is here? What good can come from this?
There are other worlds out there, Danae.
Caliph hears this, and even though they were trying to like stay out of it, they're like, does everything have to come down to how much good or bad or plus and minus calculations to you? Can't even have a cup of tea without discussing the political ramifications. There's like a lot of like pent up resentment that they then quickly kind of tamp down. And
when so the way I'm imagining the scene is that Danae and Arna are like by the ship, and Edwin and Calith are sort of like a little bit farther away. And so Edwin just leans over to you and says, coming from over 1,000 years of experience, it's really not a good idea to keep that all inside. Just putting it out there.
1,000 years, huh?
Arno just looks at you, Danae, and just says, I got tired of the fighting. I wanted to go back to exploring. And I can do that here. We live in peace. We make our own living off the land. And they sort of look up. You can see the sky. You sort of gesture up, and we explore.
No. No.
Just raise an eyebrow at you.
I'm gonna make a push.
Okay.
Because technically, I did ban this character from being
Oh,
in
you
this
did?
scene.
Oh,
Fuck, we did.
no! Shit.
I'm gonna say this is, and because technically this is a secondary character for you, so I can do this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This is not real.
I love it.
Danae,
How is it figured
Danae
out?
just, I know my Anat. Danae just puts a hand up and swipes at the illusion, and the illusion just dissipates and turns back to Enwin. You lied.
No, I don't understand. I this isn't me.
I know Anna too, and I know what their magic feels like. They knew you were going to come looking, and they were trying to let you down easy. Give you one last chance to stop being such an... being so hard-headed about it.
They're just gonna sit down in the dirt.
I think Edwin is gonna sit next to them, not super close, but close enough to offer a hand or a shoulder or whatever if Danae makes any sort of attempt to reach out. And they're just gonna look at Danae, say, look, I don't know who you are. Don't know who this other person is to you. Obviously, it's someone you care very deeply about. What I can tell you is that I have been running for 1,000 years, ensuring that I never let myself care for anyone again, to fear that I will hurt them. Because when I discovered this, they hold up their hands. It destroyed my life. I had to leave everything I ever cared about in order to keep it safe. I don't know the situation. Maybe they're just trying to keep you safe because they care about you.
They reach up and they take the clasp on their robe and remove it and take off their robe and hold it very carefully up and places it down in front of them. And then with a wave of their hand, the robes just ignite in flames.
Don't do... You always were one for dramatic gestures, you and Anat.
Maybe. If you want. Not as a replacement. Obviously, there's history that I would never be able to replace. Maybe as another attempt at fixing the world. And they just sort of raise an eyebrow. Leave that hanging there. Could teach me how to not hurt those I care about. Maybe I could teach you some things about mourning and grieving and moving on. That sounded crass and hurried, and I didn't mean it that way. The moving on never actually comes.
No, I think more people should be crass with them.
You two are quite a pair, you know that?
Glare at each other.
Reminds
I'm
me of
not
my
gonna
brother
say
and I.
we were kids. And you've gotten quite a big head since people started worshipping the ground we walked on. You know that was never what Anna wanted. It was never what any of us wanted. We wanted to teach people and help them. How many people have we been helping lately?
They just sort of clear their throat. There's one right here.
We haven't taught in a while. But you used to be a really good teacher, Danae. Forget all this, and they motion towards the ashes of the cloak. Like, forget all of that. You were making a difference. You don't need to change the world. Just change one person's world. You've got a student offering right here.
They crack a smile.
So, not only can I track people, they sort of ignite their hand. This is as much control as I've learned, and quickly extinguish it. It got very out of control very quickly the first time that happened. I've been avoiding it for literally 1,000 years. I would greatly love someone who could teach me how to use it for good.
They will stand up and they will extend a hand to you, Enwin, in gestures to help you stand up as well.
They quickly make sure their hand is actually out and will take the hand without putting the gloves back on. They haven't put the gloves back on this entire time.
Aw.
Take the hand.
Then your training begins now.
And Caliph goes, great, wonderful,
Slow
many happy
clapping.
returns. I'm going home to have a cup of tea and fade into ignominy.
And Edwin comments, oh, enjoy that cup of tea without political commentary.
Thank you. It's nice to have some humor around here.
I love that scene so much.
So I guess that answers the questions.
heart.
Where did they go? They disbanded.
Yeah.
Oh, my heart!
I think
No.
Danae and Caliph kind of remained in touch and they still bickered a lot. But it was less like over the
Actual
years it got
anger.
less and less mean and more like friendly.
So I want to give this. I know this took some turns, but I want to give this a light. I want to make this a light.
Yeah.
I think it was good for them. It was sad, but it was
My
good for
heart.
them.
Also, I don't feel so terribly guilty about what I did to Enwin now. I mean, it was literally 1,000 years of horribleness that I doomed them to, but
Yeah.
So after
But
the
they
focus,
made a friend.
So after we finish this, so we finished the focus. So next, I have to choose a legacy, which is the player. Oh no, the player to the right of the current lens picks something that appeared during this last focus and makes it a legacy. So I guess to the right would be Vico, I guess.
oh man.
I guess I think it should be the 3 in blue. I think
Okay.
they left.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it should be.
So this will. I
Gosh.
think this is because we've been going for about 2 hours. This will be the last thing we do. This will. So next we're going to explore the legacy. So Vico, you either create an event or dictate a scene that relates to one of the legacies. So we only have one legacy right
Okay.
now.
So it's, I guess, a dictated scene.
Right. Which is different from playing a scene in that it's just one person saying, here's what happened.
It's a couple hundred years into the future, probably after the first dynasty. And it's a history class.
Okay.
There's students gathered around, and they're discussing the early days of the schools of magic.
Well. Okay. So this would have to be an event because there's no scene, there's no event to nestle the scene into.
Oh, right.
So you can make an event of like, um, I don't know, on history is uncovered of the early days of magic or something like that.
Okay. Whoops.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how to make it work in the rules.
Maybe it is under the rule of the first dynasty, and it's,
Because we can have more than one event in each.
yeah,
So
it's an event under
Period.
the rule of the first dynasty, and it's the uh, discovery of writings and journals from the Three in Blue that kind of sheds light on, because publicly, historically, not a lot was known personally, like about their personal lives. So these writings were really valuable, even though a lot of it was like Caliph kept a journal that was like, had tea. Danae
Tomorrow.
talked
Had
to
tea.
me about, or had tea. My tea was cold by the time Danae stopped talking to me about the political ramifications of the honey I used to sweeten it.
I love this
But it's
so much.
like, and it does, like, it is the first sort of thing that really gives evidence, because everyone has had over the centuries like their own theories for where the Three in Blue went, and this is like, this actually details their retirement.
Went to space, had tea every day without political commentary,
Taught more
trained.
students.
and taught more students.
And it's sort of, some people are disappointed because it's like, oh, there's like practically legendary figures just like retired and became boring old people. One of them went to space, but the other two became boring old people. And other people are like, yeah, that's what happens. You do all this cool wild shit, and then you
become boring people.
and then you retire and you drink tea.
Yep.
Yep.
That's amazing.
I
That's
want
awesome.
to keep going.
I know.
I
Do we want to
So
make this a
much.
two-parter? And we can keep going.
I would
with this?
like to make this a two-parter.
Awesome.
Also, can we
I guess.
just like, even after we finish next week, can we just keep playing sometimes? Because there's so much.
I would love
to
if this was a
explore.
game, like, we don't even need to make it a two-parter. We can just keep this
true, we
specific
could just make
on
it
as a
a-
game for like when we don't have anything
When we-
planned.
Yeah, that's true.
Smart. I like that.
And I would
idea.
love to play this game for
I love this.
our future Pathfinder game, the world building.
Yeah,
for
I think
I'd
that
love
would
to
be
play
great.
Oh
with
my
us.
gosh, I want to do this for Zoestria. Oh my
Maybe.
gosh, there's so many.
Hi, Oliver. Hi, Oliver. Look
Oh,
at him.
Pony
Look at
boy.
him. He's
Oh,
on
please
screen.
do this for me. We cannot wait to actually interact physically with this cat.
He's a good boy.
Kitty.
Hey, Oliver, your favorite person is going to be in your physical sphere again soon.
Oh.
Gasp.
Yeah, you get to bother me too, just as much as you bother Hugo. Yeah.
Probably
2
more.
humans to bother.
Probably more, because I know you like her better.
Aw.
He
Exactly.
does.
That's
When
why
we
I'll
lived-
bother her less.
When we lived together a couple years ago, whenever you left the apartment, he would sit and stare at the door.
Oh.
Buddy.
Breaks my heart. Okay, thank you so much to Ben Robbins for making this game.
This
Thank you
has been
everyone
a
for
great game.
yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in and joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow for another video game, and then Vika will do something Monday, and then
I will be
all that.
reading the second part of Suni and the Dragon. So if you
Yeah.
enjoyed my live read last Monday, I'm doing that again.
Yeah, it's nice
Also,
and
if you
chill.
weren't there on Monday, you should come anyway and enjoy this
Yeah.
part.
It's like a new short story starring the same character as before, so you don't really need to know what happened last time.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah. Well, once again, thank you for joining us, and everyone appreciate Oliver.
Appreciate him.
Buddy.
Right. We will
Gosh, I
see
missed
you
having a
next
cat.
time. Stay safe, stay happy, stay queer. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.